webcam over here.
Gotcha.
All right, we're live. Yay! We made it. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Lauren from Copa Fina, Chef Oz over here at Cueva Bar. Today is Tuesday, and we're tasting wine. So I know that nobody's watching yet, but you will. So if you're catching up with this, we're going to taste a couple of wines. So I'm going to go around and sit down in my spot. Hold on. We got the spade over there, right?
Yep.
We got what we need.
Okay.
All right. So we're over here at Cueva Bar in San Diego, California. Your number one spot to go get tapas paired with delicious, amazing wine from small batch producers, family-owned wineries, all around amazing wine. And Lauren here, she works with Copa Fina. Can you tell us a little bit about you and Copa Fina, Lauren, please?
I'd love to. Copa Fina started 10 years ago, as the story has it, with a dream in a backpack. So my boss had taken a trip down to South America and had found tons of delicious wines that weren't available in the States. Wines that were exciting, family produced, organically produced. So she decided to start a little import business. And that was with one of our favorite wineries, Siete Fincas. And now here we are 10 years later, and we have 34 different wineries from 4 different countries, more coming.
Yeah.
And all of them still have that same mentality: grower producer, family owned, and organic focused.
That's awesome, because everything that Lauren said, I can definitely taste it in the wines that we've been, so we've been working, for our wine purposes here at Cueva Bar for 3 years with Copa Fina. And I remember the first time you came in, it was just like, hey, I'm with Copa Fina, I got some wines. And I'm always open to tasting wine, because wine not, pun intended. If you got it, please put your comments in there. So yeah, it was like a win. It was like a winning situation. Lauren, and I think you stepped in with
Shelby.
Yeah, you and Shelby. You both and Shelby came in, and it was a great first time tasting experience with Copa Fina. So we decided to work with them, and they've been amazing. Every wine that they bring over is so tasty, but obviously we gotta choose what goes well with the food here at Cueva Bar and what our fans ask for. So nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you leave us some comments, ask us questions about the wines that we're about to taste. We are going to have Lauren tell us a little bit of technical details, but we want you to know that wine tasting or enjoying wine is for everyone. It doesn't have to be a fancy thing. It can be a very fun thing to taste wine, because every single wine, based on where it's grown, based on where the vines are grown and how the vines are taken care of and how the wine is processed. I mean, there's a lot going on into every wine, but basically what I'm trying to say is that every bottle of wine will taste different. And that's the fun part, it's like it gets your senses going, your palate, sometimes your body. The wine is so good that your whole body is like, oh my gosh. And so that's what we do at Cueva Bar, relax wine tasting, all right? You don't have to be a know-it-all about wine. You don't have to be a sommelier or anything like that. As long as you like it, that's all that matters, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
So we are going to start here with a little Chardonnay coming from Navarra, Spain.
Yeah, Chardonnay from Spain.
Yes. So I wanted to bring wines that I thought were fun, approachable, maybe a couple of varietals that you've heard of before, but taste differently than you might be used to.
Okay.
So Navarra is at the north central part of Spain in the foothills of the Pyrenees Mountains.
All right.
So the subregion is actually called Baja Montaña, Lower Mountains.
Baja Montaña, yeah, Lower Mountain.
The winemakers here are actually a couple of sisters. They are the children of Maximo Bette, the name of the winery, and their partners have now started making wine. And I have recently gotten to travel to Spain and hang out with them, and I can now confirm Spanish hipsters are a thing.
Spanish hipsters are a thing.
Yes,
They are Spanish hipsters.
They have really forward-thinking minds. They're really young and youthful, and they make their wines in the same way. They're not stuffy. They're approachable and fun.
Awesome.
So this is a Chardonnay, a single plot Chardonnay called La Blanca for their mother. Their mother's name was Blanca. And it is made in the style with no oak aging, all stainless steel. So it's really light and crisp and friendly.
So there's an aspect I taste in some white wines. It's the what do you call it? The melomatic or something?
Malolactic?
Malolactic.
Yes.
What is the malolactic aspect of a wine?
Malolactic fermentation is basically a fermentation that happens that changes lactic acid into malolactic acid, and it helps create a kind of creamy, rich mouthfeel to the wine. Okay. And it happens a lot in Chardonnays.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. This definitely tastes like a Chardonnay, and chemistry, as you can tell, plays a lot in the making of wine and beer too, right? But yeah, so lactic acid turns into malolactic acid. Correct. All right, write your notes down because I'm gonna quiz you next time you come in.
This wine also is fermented with the skins, which is kind of different for white wines. A lot of times they'll press just the juice, so you get just the juice. And what the added skin does is add a secondary level of texture. You're getting that extra weightiness on the palate that creates even more nuances in the wine.
Wow, this is really tasty. I can drink this over any California Chardonnay that I've tasted so far, you know. This is pretty good. Once you start, like, I don't know what Chardonnay will taste like to you, but I can tell you that after tasting wine for over 8.5 years that we've been open at Cueva Bar, I can now smell it and tell, oh, this is a Chardonnay. Mm-hmm. You know, so your nose and your brain and all that kind of starts making connections and connecting the dots, I guess you can say, the wine dots. Yeah. But yeah, this smells like a Chardonnay and tastes like a delicious Chardonnay.
Yeah, some key key aromas that you might find in Chardonnay are white florals, so maybe tea, and some tropical fruit flavors, pineapple, peaches.
Very good. Is it accurate to say that white wines, you'll get the stone fruit aspects in most of them or some of them?
Yeah, in a lot of white wines, you'll find a lot of stone fruit. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is known for it. Yeah. Albarino. Wines like Pinot Grigio tend to be more citrus forward. Oh, okay. Lemons, limes, things like that.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm only tasting. I can't drink the whole thing, though. That's the thing about wine tasting. We have our spitter, or what do you call it, a dumper?
Yeah.
Spitter or dumper?
Dump cup, whatever. Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Have some visitors in the house.
Oh.
Okay.
It's fine, baby.
All right. The next wine. Mi Terruño Cabernet Franc from Mendoza, Argentina.
Nice. Cabernet Franc.
Yes. Awesome. So I wanted to bring you, Mendoza is a really big part of our book. It's where we started, of course. And so we started with Malbecs, of course, and that has been amazing for us, and Malbecs are delicious. But now the people of Argentina are starting to say, well, what else can we do? Malbec was so successful. That's a French grape. So maybe let's try a few other varietals from there. So you're seeing Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. And now people have started to plant Cabernet Franc and are finding it to grow really well in the warm, arid climate of the Mendoza Desert.
Mm. So does Mendoza have just desert, or they also have mountains, right? They have like a high Mendoza and low Mendoza?
Exactly, a high and low Mendoza. But all of it is on the east side of the Andes Mountains, which act as a natural barrier from the cool Pacific. Oh. The Andes Mountains are so tall that it creates something called a rain shadow. The clouds cannot pass over the mountain range, and so it stays wet on the Chilean side and dry on the Argentine side.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
It's crazy.
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, the Andes are actually permanently snow-capped year round, and the water that's running off of the Andes Mountains is what filters into Mendoza and allows for all agriculture.
Oh,
They're using the rivers to irrigate all of their agriculture, and that includes vines.
That's amazing. So look up in your maps and look at the Andes so you can imagine what we're talking about. Well, what Lauren is talking about, I'm just digesting all this new information, which I haven't heard before. Yeah. There's so many things about wine, and the agriculture is pretty important, right?
Absolutely.
Have we had this Cabernet Franc here before?
This Cabernet Franc
Yeah.
has been here. This is a newer addition to our book. It's just been here about 6 months, and so it's a brand new wine. It's very unique. It has a lot of black fruits in it, so think blackberries and plums, but then also notes of chocolate and mocha.
Oh my, this is amazing. It's like borderline medium and bold.
Exactly.
Yeah, very dry.
Very dry. This is something that the line is called expression, and it is the expression of the winemaker. It's how she likes to drink her wine.
So it won't block us. You can put it here maybe, and it could be. Oh, it's not fully visible.
That's okay.
There we go.
That works.
Zoom in.
Yeah, so expression, it's how the winemaker, her name is Maria Eugenia, how likes to drink her wine, and she really likes her fruit to show. She spends a lot of time cultivating great grapes, so she wants to let that juice shine. So this just gets 4 months in oak, and so just a touch,
Okay.
a little salt and pepper to the wine, if you will.
Oh, really? Okay. Is it a French or American oak?
French oak.
French oak.
Yep, it's French
Okay.
oak, but it's neutral. It's not new French oak, neutral French oak.
Okay.
Just a little added texture.
Okay. For those of you who are new to wine, some of the wine gets aged in oak barrels, and there are, as far as I've heard, American, French, and recently in our last webisode, Hungarian oak.
Yeah, Hungarian.
It was the first time I heard about it, but the most prominent uses of oak are French and American. And then you have from brand new oak, which I feel California does a lot.
Yep, a lot of Napa uses new American oak.
Okay. And then other wineries, I think the old style, right, like the old world, they like to, I mean, obviously at some point they use the new oak, but as wines get a little bit more complex, they use like neutral oaks and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, oak that's been used before. So it's either, the first time you're using it and it's brand new and it's going to impart a lot of the wood flavor into it, or maybe you've used it for 2 or 3 vintages before that and you want just a touch of more mellow oak integrated into the wine.
Nice. No, this is really delicious wine. And we had it in our wine list, but we're always rotating. So while we're not having this wine here right now, we might bring it back, depending on how the list is going on. If you want to see it back on the list, send us a message, vote for it. Let's get a lot of people saying you want to taste this amazing Cabernet Franc from Mendoza, Argentina. Now, Mi Terruño is also a family-owned winery, right?
Yep. Also the project of a couple of siblings.
A couple of siblings, that's what I thought. And isn't the drawing of this wine one of the siblings with their dog?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, Maria Eugenia, the sister, is the winemaker.
Okay.
And then depicted on the label is Gabriel. And that's him and his dog walking in the vineyards.
That's
He's
awesome.
more of the vineyard manager. He's the guy that oversees how the process is going and making sure all of the grapes are healthy.
That's amazing to hear that a family-owned winery does, so there's the winemaker, a sister, and then the vineyard, the one that tends to the vineyards,
Yeah.
right? That's the other sister?
The brother.
Oh, it's a
Gabriel.
brother. Okay. And there's a 2 only?
Yeah, 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And Gabriel is that the brother?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in the picture you have Gabriel. Shout out to Mi Terruño family. If you are watching this, your wine is so tasty. We've had it at Cueva Bar, not just the Cabernet Franc, but we had another of your varietals. And good job on the wine, guys. Also, for the ones who are not too knowledgeable of wine, I just invite you to go to the store and grab a bottle. And what are the 5 S's for wine that can help you, develop more liking for it?
What?
The 5 S's, the most knowledge.
Like the scent, the smell? or
Yeah,
the-
like sip or like, what is it?
Well, how you look at one.
Yeah.
So first you look at it, your sight, and you say, okay, is this, let's talk about this red wine. Is it really bright red? Is it dark red? Does it have brick nuances? Has it even started to develop purple color? So first you look at the wine, then you smell it. Give it a sniff.
See, sniff, sip.
Yeah, of course, sip. Savor.
Wow. So the mouth has a lot of receptors, right?
Mhm.
The mouth has a lot of flavor receptors. And white or red, it doesn't matter, or rosé, it will hit you differently in the front of the palate, on the sides of the palate, the bottom of the palate, the top of the palate, or in the back of the palate. So that's why the when tasting wine, you can, what do you call that?
Swish.
Swish. So you swish your wine, and it hits every receptor in the mouth, and that kind of creates all this like, holy shit, what's going on with this wine? And that's how I learned to taste wine. So I'm just a peasant, or that's how I don't know if that's how you say it, who is into wine, and that's how we feel about the wine at Cueva Bar. You don't need to know about it, just enjoy it. If you like it, that's all that matters. This is pretty good. The oak is not overwhelming. I've had some wines where you smell it and it's like, whoa, man, it smells like a chunk of bacon in your nose. Not the bacon is bad, but it's like sometimes it's too much, right? Like you want to taste bacon or you want to taste the fruit in the wine, right? That's what it comes down to. And there are all kinds of people, right? To each their own. But in my experience, too much oak can really take on the nature of the wine, right?
Exactly.
But that's me.
Overpower it.
Yeah, overpower it. So, not a pirate. Overpower it. Because my accent is a little funky,
Yeah.
What? So, if you're watching today, Tuesday, we wish you that you're having a great time. Obviously, I'm having a wonderful time tasting wine here with Lauren. You can find Lauren or myself here in San Diego at some of your favorite locations. Shout out to, what do you say you work as well, Lauren?
Juniper and Ivy?
Juniper and Ivy. So
Yeah.
if you're in San Diego, go stop at Juniper and Ivy or Cueva Bar and then go to Juniper and Ivy and go say hi to Lauren. She's an amazing resource for wine knowledge, but also don't take too much of her time if she's working,
I'm busy.
Yeah, that place gets packed.
And it's Wine Wednesday tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Wine Wednesday, yay! So Cueva Bar every Wednesday. This is yours. Cueva Bar every Wednesday. $5 rosé. Yeah, rosé in the house. All night long from 4 p.m. until we close. And our wonderful Lynn, who is in the front of the house, takes care of our guests. But the cool part about it is rosé. And this is not just any rosé. So will you please tell us about this rosé, Lauren, the 2016 blend?
This is by a producer called Juan Alejandro Jofre. He is making wine in Curicó, Chile. So we're more towards the south of Chile, about an hour and a half south of Santiago, in between the coastal range and the Andes Mountains. So in a nice valley. And this is the first ever rosé of Garnacha to come out of Chile.
Oh, wow. First ever rosé of Garnacha out of Chile, guys. So we're almost out of this vintage, and I encourage you to come and get it for $5. Make you holla here at Cueva Bar. But it's amazing. I mean, wow.
Yeah, Juan Alejandro is really a forward thinker as well. He's making wines with a lot of bright acidity that's really refreshing. He picks way earlier than his neighbors, and everyone thought he was crazy for a while, but now his wines are proving to be some of the best.
Yeah.
There's a master somm named Tim Atkin who recently visited and tweeted all about it and said this wine is phenomenal. So we're stoked to have it.
Oh, from the Atkins score, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay. Do we know how many points Atkins?
Points have not been released yet.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
Pending.
so this was vintage 2016.
Correct.
But we're on to
No.
when this is gone, it's gone, right?
Yeah, we're almost out. This is the last few bottles available.
Okay. And so speaking back to the Andes, are we talking about now the west side of the Andes?
Yes, we're
Okay.
now on the west side of the Andes in Chile.
Okay, so cooler climate.
Cooler climate, more influenced by the Pacific.
Okay.
It also has a lot more rainfall. It's a lot more lush there and green as opposed to the desert side in Mendoza. And it's more influenced by a river. There's a huge river that runs right through Curicó Valley, so you're getting really stony soils.
This is amazing, guys, especially here in San Diego. Coming on the, it's getting hot out there. It's getting warm, I should say, not hot. But this is really bright and nicely acidic at the end. It leaves me, after every sip, I want more, But I got to remind me, I'm only tasting. Yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty tasty. It's not sweet at all. And I know there are some people who like a sweet, sweeter rosé. But the most part, rosé drinkers like a dry and refreshing rosé, which is what this wine is. And just the fact that it's the first rosé Grenache out of Chile, it's amazing, you know? Joffre has also other wines, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, he makes a white that is a Semillon Sauvignon Vert blend.
Mm.
So it's a little wine geeky. That has skin contact. If you heard of the term orange wine, he makes an orange
Oh.
wine.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, and then he makes some classic varietals: Carmenere, Cabernet Sauvignon.
Chile. So also Chile comes out with a lot of great wine. Back in the day, before I opened Cueva Bar, I think it was Concha y Toro.
Yep.
That was the only thing I heard about Chile wine. Concha y Toro everywhere. But my eyes have been opened. The wheel has been taken off. And there's a lot of amazing wine product coming out of Chile, guys. So look it out. Come to Cueva Bar, taste our wines, or go to the store and get a Chilean wine. Doesn't matter. What I want you to do is to enjoy wine, because wine is delicious. And unlike beer, it doesn't need a lot of water other than, to grow the vines. But a lot of vines, what some people don't know is natural farming practices make it so that the vines reach underground and to like the natural water source, So I'm not against, beer making. Don't take me wrong, but I would just want to, make the importance. The wine is very natural. And there's a lot of farmers out there who obviously rely on us. And it's good for agronomy. It's good for the environment. So drink more wine. Anything else that you would like to share with us, Lauren?
Oh, thanks for tasting. Drink more wine. Make good decisions.
Yeah.
Try and scout out some producers that might be a little bit smaller. Family producers is what I'd suggest.
Yeah. And if you're curious, in case we run out of this tomorrow, we have Siete Fincas coming through Rosé as well. We can talk about this next week. In the meantime, enjoy your wine drinking. Come over to Cueva Bar. Let's talk about wine and let's feel good. Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, now I forgot I have to walk in there.
Yeah.
I have to stop it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.